Thank you for tuning in. The whole reason we're setting up this whole video is so that we can give voice to people who also have sentiments towards these political developments that are happening now in Malaysia. I'm just one voice of many, so I just thought that I could put my own opinion, I give my 2 cents. Hopefully, we can get a discussion going around. I'm very sure that many people are very, very fired up over what's going on right now. But I just want to make a disclaimer that these are my own opinions. I do not represent any political party or any kind of organization. So I woke up and I heard that the government has fallen. So it ignited that kind of feeling that I want to pursue more towards expanding politics. So, and here we are.
I remember when news was covering our election and how Mahathir was sort of voted in as prime minister. It was a big moment showing how the system of democracy is functioning, kind as best as it could, because people are voting for their own leaders this time around. So why not just bring that up again, since we know that enough people are participating?
Of course, we are a functioning democracy. I mean, we pride ourselves on having general elections, having the people's decision to vote their leaders, and we take pride in that. However, the core problem would be the system of corruption within the democratic system that we have. So we pride ourselves outwardly as a democracy. However, the system itself needs to be cleaned up. You can also make the case that the democratic system here is still considered in its infancy. Because to have a successful democracy is that we need wide participation, not just voting, but a citizenry that's well informed of the choices that they're going to make and not being influenced through shady practices such as electoral gifts. So it's more or less not to do with the politicians itself, but the people that needs to be able to participate fully in a democratic system.
What are some things that people tend to misjudge or misunderstand?
I think people have to stop looking at politics as a black and white issue. They need to look at the shades of grey and stop trying to propagate their political opinion under the lens of righteousness or good and evil, because politics itself is not a game of good and evil. Because Malaysia its policies always tend to be pragmatic. This is echoed in our foreign policy, our economic policy. And I think Mahathir understands that's the whole identity of Malaysian policymaking, is to be practical, pragmatic, and realistic. So perhaps that is a lesson for the Malaysian population in general, not to try to be idealistic about how politics works here. And the only way to do that is to be more involved, to dig deeper into what is it that you support, what is it that you stand for, and what party can best represent those interests. If you stand for certain things like the preservation of Malay rights, of course there's always an avenue to support. But also if you're the type that seeks for more multiracial reforms, then there's also avenues there. However, that comes to the issue of tolerance. Can we tolerate these differing ideas? And I don't think that we have a social mechanism or inbuilt culture that's able to tolerate these difference of stark opinions. We pride ourselves on being multiracial, multicultural, multireligious, and like. However, we don't seem to do well with accepting differing opinions when it comes to political alignment.
What are examples of those mechanisms that you're talking about that are lacking?
I think open dialogue is quite missing. When any functioning democracy would have its citizens have dialogue, would discuss differing ideas, it's more opening dialogue, bridging the difference to find out that maybe there is more similarity than there are differences.
So let's say economic equality, like social class and the poor. Do you think that a lot of people have different takes on it, or do you think that we all are on the same page about this, let's make a movement about it, but we just don't have the means to create a movement from it?
Yeah, of course everyone wants, we're in an ideal society, we all want an ideal society where everyone's equal. However, the problem is reaching that goal. So that's where the problem lies, is the differing approach towards the same goal. And also, I think another underlying issue is that sometimes we're just too shy to talk about it.
Sometimes we're too meek to voice our opinions because to see how polarized politics is now in Malaysia, it's hard to give an opinion without being easily identified within a certain camp. But we cannot afford to be like that now. You're seeing how developments in politics has crescendoed into this whole crisis that we have. Shows that we need to be more assertive with what we want. We need to know what we want from our country. And once we know what we want, we have to discover how do we get there? What are the avenues that we can take? And if I'm thinking this way, what do other people think? And that's the beauty of how discussion works, is that we learn new things from other people, not just from ourselves. And that's the role I believe young people really should take and highly encourage. I'm all for youth participation. I think we need more fresh people entering politics, but we're doing it responsibly, because you look at the political landscape, you look at the people involved, it's still the same old tired men who are making decisions that young people will have to suffer the consequences of. So we need to be able, the young needs to be able to represent themselves, and they also must be given the platform to express. Of course, we have the world's youngest minister in office, but I think, and that's a good step in the right direction. But more should be done to make sure that they're to be more involved, and not just on the political level, but on the civil level as well. It cannot be just a political movement of young people, but a civil movement that young people are able to mobilize themselves to, voice out their concerns, what they hope to see, their aspirations for governance, in a way that is not partisan, is not attached to any political party, but comes from a genuine desire for change. Is that they try to find that inward objective that they want, seek out what they can know from it, and also enrich it by meeting with other people from other walks of life, what their opinions are, what expertise can they provide, and then you'll have to synthesize it.